Sorry, is it okay if I video the console?
Yeah,
Okay,
you're
cool.
good. So as it is right now, so you have a digital screen. It looks like a lot. It can be a lot at times, but I have built out this kind of grid that is going to hopefully help you guys. The way it's all set up is the position of where the actual fixture is. So if I were to take down these house lights, I can go to these lights, and if I turn them on, it's gonna be the ones that are mounted up on these walls across this back wall. So basically, this is your map of where all the fixtures are, assuming that you are basically like right here. And I have some labels on them, so I call them frontal lecos. That's just the type of fixture they are, and they're meant to hit the front of the stage and the faces of the people. So we have those. I labeled all of the fixtures that are on the catwalk lights. So it's just all of those fixtures that you can touch from the catwalk, which you guys will probably have to fix some of those, but then you'll be able to add more. So we have all those, and then the conglomerate that's up top is every single light that would turn on right above the stage, so that you wouldn't be able to see it from here, but you would be able to see the light. And I kind of placed them where I, for the most part, thought they were at. But other than that, one thing I have programmed in is these 4 faders. They're labeled house lights, frontal lecos, catwalk lights, and stage battens. So house light obviously is our house lights. Then we have the frontal lecos. I just showed you guys those. And then we have catwalk lights. And the final one is the stage battens. So it's all those lights in there. So I programmed those because for the most part, that's all you will need to use, unless you are doing specific things for like theater and just needing specific lights. It's just to make it really easy and have a label there so that pretty much anyone can be told, hey, can go flip up the house lights. And, oh, yep, there it is. And it's easy to find. One big thing, so right here, there's 3 text blurbs. It says fix, GRP, and Q. So whichever one is lit up green, that is the page that you're going to be on. You can actually control it from here, clicking these, or you can select them. And so if you notice, these lights change. So those are your pages. So the fix is the fixtures. It's your individual fixtures that are programmed all across. So it's just a list of 40, the first 40 that you have. Your groups would be up here. It's just a grouping of the type of fixtures. And so with all of these as well, I've made them into groups. So if these ever get programmed over, you'll still have those groups that you can control from these.
Okay. And how would we add a group if we wanted to?
So if you were to add a group, you would go into these and you would select which ones you want.
Okay.
And you can go and record. And so it adds a little plus button there. So that is going to, you would just hit that and it's going to say created group 6. And then you would have your 6th group there. So it will also match if you're on the group 1. And it would just...
Okay.
So it's a very easy way that I see it, as I want to, more for scenes or for like, I always want to have the ability to control all of these at the same time.
Yeah.
I just hit that group button and I program what I want with that. It's going to select all those fixtures at the same time. So when you're trying to do things on the fly, which we end up doing a lot, it's just quick. select it, program, go, and you're done.
Okay.
And so if you ever want to get rid of a group, you would go up to this action,
Mm-hmm.
you'd select your group, and there's a little trash can icon.
Cool.
You just remove that, and then it's gone. And so one thing, whenever you're programming, once you're done with that, you have to hit the clear button,
Okay.
because the programmer takes that master position, and then all your faders go into the slave position.
Okay.
So nothing's going. You'll try to be changing things, and nothing's going to change. You might be confused. Make sure your clear button is done, because it's taking what's being programmed and it's showing you what's being programmed, and it's waiting for that command to, okay, I'm done with that. Now I want control over it again with this other thing.
Yeah. And so clear is your reset button.
Yes,
essentially.
exactly.
Okay, got it.
So, which that gets a lot of people. I've seen it get a lot of people.
So would you say our go-to would be when in doubt, hit the clear button?
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's a very simple, yet it fixes a lot of problems. Another thing with your modes, I did a install a couple months ago now, where we basically went in and we programmed a bunch of cues.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you program in cues with LED fixtures, so when you're actually changing the colors, the LED in each of these will actually change to the main color.
That's so cool.
It's super cool. I love it so much because it makes it really easy for me to program.
Yeah.
So it sounded like someone accidentally hit one of those buttons. And so they were getting nervous because they thought someone had cleared all their programming because it was all white. So they were getting nervous, and so I came out, I kind of walked them through it, and all you have to do, go back to the cue button. It's just right there, it's easy, it's simple.
Yeah.
So right now, you guys don't have any color changing fixtures or moving fixtures. So right now, that's not really something you need to know about. I'm still gonna go through it.
Yeah.
For the future.
So you say color changing fixtures. What is it? What is the difference between a color changing fixture and a color changing light?
So for the most part, they're the same thing.
Okay.
I call lights fixtures.
Got it. Okay.
It's just something I've gotten used to.
Totally get it. You're in an industry and not so.
Yeah. No, you're all good. But yeah. We talked about it getting LED fixtures, and so once you'll be able to change those colors, you'll be able to just select them, and then you have tabs up here. You'd be able to go into the color, and a lot more stuff would pop up. You would have presets up top.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can only do white right now because it's just
only white.
It's only white, but you would be able to drag on that, and then values. Just fine-tuning stuff, but other than that, let's see.
If I wanted to write a cue right now, how would it?
Okay, yeah. So it's the way I see cues is I'm building a scene.
Yeah.
I want this scene to look like this certain way. So maybe I don't want full frontal light. I just want these two.
Okay.
So on the side, it says dimmer right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means this knob is going to control that dimmer. You can actually, maybe not on this screen, but on a lot of the screens. So intensity, that's going to be like straight power.
Yeah.
It's just turning it on, turning it off. A lot of these tabs, you can pull out and it'll have some presets. So this one just has 150 and 0%. And so as you go down, that green bar is going to match.
Yeah.
Where you're at. And so this screen is just, it's gonna show every single fixture that you have programmed into this.
Are we able to use 41 through 54 in there?
So what you guys have are a lot of channels that aren't being used.
Yeah.
So right now I have patched all the way up to I believe it's 66.
Okay.
The address is 66 is your last channel.
I just mentioned these and I was like, oh, okay, so the last 14 we won't be able to access at all. So
No,
it's just-
so you'll be able to access it in this intensity page.
okay, sweet.
So yeah, you'll always be able to access everything. It's just you will not have it just readily available.
Yeah, no
in your-
faders on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Which once you get into queues, you won't really have a need
Yeah,
to access all 40. You'll just program what you need here, and you'll just be able to raise it whenever.
okay.
So, let's say I want those two Licos. Maybe I want, let's just say, a couple stage lights. Just to give it a little. So now I have a couple lights on. That's all I'm really looking for right now.
Yeah,
So now I would go into record.
okay.
So all these turn red
Mhm.
because I'm currently in queue mode.
Okay,
So I can select any one of these. I would just click the little black button. It's going to save it. And this LED will light up
okay,
if there is a queue programmed into it.
okay.
It's very easy to keep track when it's a lot of black LEDs and then one's on. So then I did all my programming. So now I clear it. So now nothing's being programmed. And then I just go to my queue and I raise that up.
Okay.
It's just going to
And so,
be there.
What's the difference between queue and group?
So a group is a group of fixtures. It's not taking any of the programming part of it. It's just a ability to select multiple fixtures at the same time.
Okay.
So when I have stage buttons. I select that group. It's going to select all of those fixtures
Mhm.
that are underneath that group. So then I can just do my dimmer and all of those lights will come on.
okay. But like you couldn't say, for example, take a group and then change the color of all of them to the same color at the same time? Or
Yes.
you
Yeah.
could?
So
Okay.
once you have anything selected, you can just go into those and you can change all of them
Yeah.
at the same time.
But I guess what I'm asking is group means that you want all of them to be uniform within the group,
Correct.
but queue means that they don't have to be uniform within the group?
Yes.
Okay.
So a queue is taking a look and it is saving that exact look.
Okay.
Everything could be different about every single fixture. It's taking everything that you've programmed in that look and it's saving it to a fader. So all you have to do is raise up that fader and that look will go.
Okay.
A group is just a combination of fixtures that you want to be able to select at the same time. It's not bringing back a programming that you
Yeah.
saved.
And so realistically, we could say, for example, I wanted 52 different looks, which is ridiculous. I would never need 52. But we would only be able to do up to 40. Am I correct in saying that?
So these are specific. You can either set them to fixture, group, or queue.
Yeah.
So you can set 40 queues right here.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah, these 10, they're playback faders.
Yeah.
So technically, these 4 are queues.
Okay.
So because I set them as the look is supposed to be 100% on full, all of these specific fixtures.
Got it.
So I set this queue. So then when I'm at 100%, all of those are gonna. So this was the look.
Okay.
This was the look I was going for, and so that's what was recorded into this. So these ones are special. If you were to hold it, it's double click. So it becomes these are playbacks. So what you can do is you can stack cues
Mm-hmm.
into it. So you can put 5, 6. I don't know what the top number is, but it's a lot more than you should probably ever use.
Okay.
So you would throw all of your cues in here for for example, you're doing a play
Mhm.
and you want to go, okay, this scene has this lighting,
Yeah.
and then you want to go into the next scene. So you have a wait setting. So you can either wait for go, which is your little play button down here,
Okay.
or you can follow previous cue, or it's going to be time coded, so it's going to wait this amount of seconds,
Okay.
and then it's going to go to the next thing.
Okay. This is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, how do I add a cue to it then?
So when I set up this one, I got my look, and then I just hit record, and I saved the cue to this one, the same way you would save it to these.
Yep.
So these, once you have something different, you can set your next cue, and then you just record, and then you just go back into it.
Okay.
So that one, now it has a second cue.
Okay.
And so either you can do a playback, which means they're just in order. So when you go up with it, which you need to clear, it's just a timed thing.
Okay.
It's just going to cycle between the two. What you can do instead is you can change it to a cue stack.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I recommend for theater stuff.
Okay.
Is you turn it into a cue stack, and right now it's set to wait for go.
Okay.
So I have my one scene, and then I go, okay, now it's time to switch to the next scene. I click my go button, and it's gonna switch to that next one.
Cool. All right.
And if you keep adding more, you hit go. It will keep going
exactly.
down.
Yep.
Okay. And so, if I wanted this scene to be in 5, I would just hit record and then 5 instead.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Great. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so these ones you can either select it on the digital screen, or they also have the black buttons, the same as these.
Now, say for example, I mess one of these up. How do I then remove cue number 2?
So you would come over here to action,
Action, and then the trash can
and then
button.
you would select it, and then the trash can button, and then it'll just disappear.
I'm glad we got this one because this is a lot easier than the one that I was familiar with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah. This
there's a
nice.
lot of lighting consoles out there, and most of them are at least confusing at first, but it takes a lot of experience
Yeah.
to get used to it, and I'm kind of just like, I'm
Yeah.
just going at it for hours.
I was gonna say because I am familiar with like Element light boards.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I used growing up, and I'm like, okay, without a computer monitor on this, I have no idea how to use this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, yep, you have playbacks, Grandmaster. So, if you notice this little green bar in
Yep.
this corner, that's going to match your Grandmaster.
Yeah.
And it's going to flash red if it's all the way down,
Okay.
because a lot of people will accidentally take that one all the way down and not realize it. So then they'll be trying to switch these, and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So then
Turn the Grandmaster.
Grandmaster has to be up in order for anything else to really function.
So that functions kind of like a soundboard then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And then what is this button?
So that is a pause button. When you have like those cue stacks, when you have them just going on repeat, you can pause them.
Okay. So if everything was built in to go, then
Yes.
the pause button would be irrelevant.
Yep, exactly. And then there's a blackout button.
Okay.
It's a great
And
button.
you have to hold it just to black out?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
And then I know this is hue and saturation. What are def and snap?
So in this color tab, I don't usually mess with these because I'm usually just going into this tab. I believe it's default and then snap. So
Okay.
currently white is set to your default.
Yep.
So if you did have fixtures that had color mixing and everything, you could hit default and it would go to white. And if you had snap and changed one of these, it's going to snap to the nearest pure color that's already
Okay.
set.
Yeah.
So on a lot of LED fixtures, they will actually their profiles in the console will have palettes set up, so a bunch of like red, green, blue, and then just different things that fixture does by default. It will have it all set up already. So obviously you can get a custom color, but sometimes you just want the strongest version of that color that you really like, and it'll already be programmed. So you just tap on that, it'll set it, and so that's what I.
So when you hit snap, it'll go to red, and then when you adjust that, it'll change it from that red point, basically.
So the snap, it's going to. So if your little picker was in this red section, you'll hit snap, and instead of going linearly along the edge, it's going to go to the next color that it knows that's already programmed. So it's probably going to be like red, then orange, then yellow, then green, then maybe like a tealish color, then blue, and then it'll keep going.
Okay.
So it's not going to go all the way around, which if you did want that, you just don't even touch the snap, and this hue button is going to go around. Yep.
Okay. And then I know what this one does. What are these three?
So for the most part, there's not much you can do because so these will show up when you can use them.
So those
right
would
now
be for the movers.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I'm in the position tab right now.
Yeah.
And so it would be tilt, and then your pan, and then that's your pan and tilt speed.
Okay.
So basically, it's going to be the speed that your fixtures move at. Obviously, not something to worry about right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than that, you can. There are effects built in to this console. It has an effects engine. So basically, right now I'm in the intensity. So that's your power effects.
Mhm.
So it's going to change the way that your power is being sent. So it's going to not be just on and off. It's going to be like a fade in, fade out, and some just along those lines. So if I were to select these, because you can see them pretty well, and maybe I go to effects and I do a dimmer chase, I think that should work. I don't usually mess with conventional lights, so some of this stuff is not exactly. Maybe you can't do as many effects with conventional.
Yeah.
Bummer. But once you guys get LEDs,
Okay.
those effects will be useful.
Well, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. What about you two?
I'm good.
I think so.
All right. Awesome.